Hey everyone, I just wanted to stop by real quick for this podcast starts and say you should like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow me on all my social medias at John D. Klauser. It's literally the same name as the name that you subscribe to on this YouTube channel. So enjoy this clip, and I'll see you guys on the other side.
Welcome to The John Show with your host, John Doogie Klauser.
All right. What's going on, everyone? How are you? We are here on a new episode of the Juan Solo Show with your host. I almost said with your guest, with your host, John D. Klauser. That is me. Episode 99. Can you believe it, dude? We're at 99 episodes. I'm almost there. I'm so close. It's so cool. Like, it's such a, like, I remember when I did my vlogs and I got to 100 episodes and I was like, dude, that's really cool. It's a really cool accomplishment to get to, especially even 99 episodes, like fucking doing, like, just doing one. And that's because that's more than what most people do anyway. It's just, I don't know. Maybe it's just as an artist, I hate using saying artist. Like, I'm a filmmaker. I don't know. As a person who makes content, that's probably the word I should use. It's just, it's such a cool thing to start an endeavor. You guys want to hear a fake call? One of these scam calls? Hello? Oh, they hang up. So I get these spam calls all the time, and it's gotten to the point now where, like, even if it's like a fake number, or if it's like a number and I answer it, like, sometimes they don't pick up, or they'll just let the phone ring, or they'll just or when they do talk to me, it's usually, the thing is, a lot of them have learned, and I think what I've gotten my number put on a list where that it comes up that if you talk, like, this person will waste your time and do stuff, because, like, when they call me, I'll just go along with it, and I'll just, sometimes, like, it depends on, like, what kind of mood I am. So sometimes I'll go like a really long time and I'll just, like, really, just kind of go with them, and I'll just say my name as a normal name, like Alex Grindstaff, right? Or I'll take one of my friends' first names, one of my friends' last names, and put it together and just make a whole person. I just do it. And I think it's kind of helpful too, to kind of help you work on the fly, because I think it can only help me here, but to also fuck them because they're doing a scam call. And so you can go fuck yourself, scam callers. And then sometimes what just happened there was that, like, I'll say hello and they're like, oh shit, fuck that. And they'll just, like, hang up, because I will fuck with them and I'll talk to them. And, like, it was so much fun at the beginning when I first started doing it, because they would, like, because we'd do the whole spiel. And then at the very end, I would be like, I'd say some dumb stuff. When I go to this place, can I fuck your mom? I remember I would do that. And then there was another one where I was like, hey, I know you're gonna give me, like, a whole spiel of something, and I get that. Do you have a moment? And I'm sure I had to have said this to have killed some time, but I was like, do you have a pen and paper? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, okay, let me know when you get a pen and paper. So I get a pen and paper. Like, I got one. And I'm like, all right, can you write down your name? And, like, they'd write down and then I'm like, okay, can you take that piece of paper, fold it up, put it in your butthole, and then you can go fuck yourself. And then that would always piss them off, because it was always, but for me, it was just like, I just wanted to see if it was funny. But, like, it's funny when you're just hearing about it, but it's not funny if, like, someone's telling you to do that. So, I was like, just dumb things like that. But that was, like, many years ago. I think that was a good solid 2.5 years ago when that was happening. But yeah, so that's my thing. If you talk to the scam callers, if you just fuck with them enough, that they will put you on a list, and they won't mess with you. They'll just, when you answer, they'll just, like, hang up, or they'll just let it go, And then the one what I do is I'm assuming they're listening to. I'm like, you're such a fucking pussy. I'm like, why can't you just like, why would you even call then if you're not going to answer? At least like talk to me. And then I'm like, all right, well, and I just put my phone on mute and I just do my thing and I'll just wait for it to hang up. So sometimes the longest I think has been like 3.5 minutes after that. So the phone call was like almost 4.5 minutes long. But 3.5 of it was just like me just not saying anything, neither of us saying anything, and just letting it's just running and running and running and running. So who knows? I don't know. It's dumb as hell. It's so juvenile, but I can't stand it. Like I just can't stand those calls, those scam calls. And I used to just like if I didn't know the number, I used to just I would just like not answer and just like block the number. But then I'm like, well, what if that's someone like who I'm supposed to do work with, and then I just block the number, and I'm like, that's stupid. So I shouldn't do that. And so now I just like answer everything and just like fuck with it. I don't care. If I'm not in the mood, then I'll just answer it, and I'm like, okay, and I'll just hang up. No big deal. That is life. That's what I'm doing. That's how it works. So, but yeah. So we're here talking about people who make you mad. You know, so funny. Like I had a whole intro. One of the things, like doing this podcast 99 times, you kind of eventually around the 99th episode, you figure out a way to maybe like gently like glide into the episode. And I used to be inducing, like having, hey, what's going, like, hey, all right, that whole thing, and then like you just kind of build. But it used to be like, okay, well, how am I going to get from like the list of my things, or like just me talking to the list of things I'm talking about, that kind of thing. That was always the bridge moment that I was trying to find. But I think that's if you're just someone who is working on trying to become better at something. I think that's just one of those things you think about. But I digress I digress from that to move forward. Talking about people that making people mad. I also made this other person mad the other day. So I was driving home from work, and I was coming from one highway and merging onto another highway. And so it was 2 lanes, and you're merging into onto a 4-lane highway. And over here, so like I'm right here, one of 2 lanes trying to go and merge into the lane. So over here is a up pass, and it, you're supposed to yield into it because like you have 2 people going. So technically I'm going like 45, 50 miles an hour versus you're coming up on a ramp going 25. And so there was this truck there, and I'm not going to lie. I will be completely honest. I could have probably moved over, but because there was a car right behind me, but it was just close enough where I didn't want to risk it where me sliding over and then letting this truck come in just like gradually just come right in without having to really stop. I'm just like, I just don't want to risk causing a wreck here. And so I'm like, I'm just going to keep going straight. So I just kept going straight. And so the truck had to go to a complete stop. And then right after that, he was able to come in. No big deal, at least to me. So anyway, I get a phone call at that point. And so I'm like, I'm going to like turn my phone on to answer the phone call. So I have my earpiece in. One of those people, that's how I drive. It's legal. That's legal. That's a legal way of doing it. You look like a douche, but you have both hands. So it is what it is. Anyways, God, I need to stop using that. Anyway, at this point, I'm sitting there, I'm driving, and I'm like moved all the way over to the far left lane. And so the next lane right next to me, I can see in my peripheral because I'm like about to answer the phone call. And I see this guy in a truck, window out, like resting on the window and just like yelling at me, like, fuck you, motherfucker, fuck you, what the fuck? And then he would like back off. And then I would just like kind of speed a bit. Then he would like speed back up. And he would like, fuck you. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And the whole time I'm just like, this guy is just super fucking angry. This Toyota Tacoma. And the thing is, what was so interesting about it was like the guy who's yelling was this black guy. And he looked like my age, had a nice beard, like clean cut, looked like he went to the barbershop a lot to like look like a nice, stunning gentleman. And he's just fucking screaming at me. And the whole time I'm like looking over at him. I'm just like, black guys my age drive Toyota Tacomas? I just didn't know this. Like that, I'm like, that's what I was more worried about. But what I did was like, I'm just like, I understood what probably happened. I'm like, oh, that was probably the truck. And I just say, hey, my bad, I'm sorry. And I'm like, I kept looking at him. I'm like, my bad. Yeah, I know, my bad, my bad. I'm sorry. And this is a lesson I learned. This is a lesson I've been trying to like apply recently. It was like, hey, just, even if you're in the right, sometimes it's just better just I know it's a cliche thing, but it really is. Like when you do it in live action, and you have an experience where you just kind of just like, hey, you're right, my bad, I see what happened, I could see where I could have, where I was wrong, and you know what, that was my fault, I'm gonna just take the bullet on this one. And you're just like, yeah. And it was a cool moment. And like he just like, the anger, he went from 100 to like 2. And he's like, all right. And he like rolled his window up and he just drove off. And I'm like, all right, well, okay, there we go. And like, I'm like, okay. And it's a lesson learned. There's very many, choose your battles, one. But the battles you do choose, like, make sure, like, even if you do choose it, like, be that person who never, ever does anything. Just like, okay, I get it. Yeah, just be the bigger person. And then, because when you do land and you do strike your gavel down, it has a lot more impact, because people are like, oh shit, because this guy never says anything. He never like really ever like is upset about anything. He never like really brings, or he's never like, it needs to be this way or something like that. Ever. And then when you do, you're like, oh, so. Yeah, but it was a good moment. I really did feel like it was a growing moment for me. And I talk about it all the time, every once in a while, on this podcast, of trying to grow, trying to be a better dude. And I feel like I did it there. I really do. I feel like I was like, you know what? I could have just matched his fucking anger, but what was the point? In a car? What are we gonna do? Stop in the like on the highway right there and fight? Like, it's stupid. And you know what? And the thing is, like, most likely, if there was a chart, on like, I would probably, I will just, again, I'm just gonna be the bigger. I probably 52, about 40. What would be like 48% chance that like, it was probably more my fault, and I should have just moved over, and probably the guy behind me saw that truck there and was probably just was barely giving enough room to like slide over. So in turn, I will just go ahead and take the bullet, because it probably was my fault. It probably was most likely me being the dumb one, and it's fine. And look at me now. Me saying that, I'm not a lesser man. I'm not, I'm even if I was right. Again, what am I winning? What am I winning here by being right in that situation instead of getting the situation right? But the situation was getting it right. It was like, hey, my bad. And that's the way, so I talk about this shit all the time, just always trying to get the situation right. Don't try to be right, because that's the thing. Like, that's not fun. And the thing's like, it's not even about being fun, but it's not productive. Always trying to have to be right. Like, it's better when sometimes you throw an idea, someone throws another idea, and then you guys move, and it's even better. I was always taught, and I was always told, like, when you build a team, like, yeah, know your strengths, know your weaknesses. Duh. Nothing's wrong with having strengths, nothing wrong with having weaknesses. Because, like, it's just as good to know your weaknesses versus having a strength. Because that is a strength, that's knowing the weakness. It's like, okay, let's not go over here. Let's just stay more over here, and we're going to be far more successful. And then, like, getting people who are good at other things, and then like coming together and collaborating. Like, that's what I was always taught, and now that's not such the thing anymore. And I'm always just so fucking flabbergasted by that, because that's the thing, is by doing that, you're trying to get it right instead of being right. Like, yeah, I could just be the only person doing it, and like, yeah, it's not fun doing that, being the like. But yes, there are points and there are things, but overall, like, yeah, you should always just try to understand other people's flaws and understand the biggest thing too is like what my therapist friends tell me all the time is like there's a threshold, 0 to 100. 50 is the middle. There's 50% of the population that's below 50. There's 50% of the population that's above 50. And that's the thing. Like sometimes you're running into a part of the population that is below the 50. So, and that's a strength right there of knowing that. And then, but it's so hard. Because it's so easy to just be an asshole. Because I fall into it all the time. It is so easy to be a fucking asshole. Incredibly easy. But, that's the thing. What else? I just see something about like a thong. Oh, yeah, that was an interesting thing. So this is another like interesting thought into like this is where I think, okay, so I have a small mound hill following on Instagram. So like what it does allow me to get, like, I have people who have like 500,000, like 700,000 people who follow them on Instagram, and it's insane. And like they only follow like maybe less than 2,000 people, and I'm one of the less than 2,000 people that they follow. I'm like, that's insane because I post bullshit. We all know this. Like, we've all been here. If you follow my page for at least 10 minutes, like, you realize, like, what my page is. My page is like, oh, this guy's just posting memes and just posting dumb things on a podcast he does by himself. It's like, oh, okay, I see what he's doing. I get it. And it's like, it's either, like, you're totally cool with it, and, like, you find a niche that you like about what I provide, which, guys, you have no idea. This year is going to be insane with the amount of stuff I'm gonna start delivering. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be really fun. And like, you see that, like how I can bounce my chest. It's only because this shirt's only a large, so it's the reason why like I can do that. And well, I followed this chick. I shouldn't follow this lady. Right. So, did y'all hear that? That was kind of cool, right? So I followed this lady, right? And I don't know, did you guys hear that? That was kind of crazy. So I followed this lady on Instagram, and she has like, I want to say roughly like 460,000 people who follow her. It's insane. It's insane. Oh, you guys want to hear another scam call? Let's see. This one is actually a scam call. It says scam call on it. Hello? Hello?
Hi, my name is James. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you, James?
I am doing great, sir. Well, this quick call is about auto insurance, and I believe you have insurance on your car you drive, right?
No.
You don't have a car?
I have a car. I just don't have insurance. I don't drive with insurance on my car. I don't believe in it.
Okay. So, sir, right now we are providing free information about car insurance. So
I just say I don't do car insurance?
Sir, I am asking, we are providing, I get you that you don't have car insurance, but you have a car. So right now we are providing
How do you know I have a car?
About car.
Are you following me?
Yeah.
And just like that, you can just end it. Okay, because I'm like, this is good. I don't like this bit at all. I'm like, I'm not gonna waste my time doing this. Like, why are you gonna watch me talk on the phone? Like, I felt like this was dumb. So, anyway, so I followed this lady on Instagram, and she's gorgeous. She's stunning. That's the reason why she has all these followers, and that's cool. I don't give a flying fuck. Well, like, I don't give a fuck what you do. Like, do what your thing. Like, whatever, like, God bless you with, or the universe bless you with, or whatever you want to try to promote, or what do you want to do, like, fucking just do it. Just be consistent. That's all I fucking really think. Is like, I don't understand why you want to start something and not go through with it and keep it going. And that's the thing. Is just that's the fun part of it, keeping it going. Anyway, so she used to post like a bunch of her like in bikinis and thongs like that, and like she would like show like her like like workout routines and stuff like that. And so I'm like, okay, I'll follow this. This is pretty cool. And I'm like, okay, I bite. You twist my arm hard enough, like, oh, and she would always post content. And she'd always post content at, it was, what I liked about it the most and what I thought was the most fascinating was that she would always post at like, I think it was like 9:30 a.m. every morning. And it was so cool. And I liked that in the sense of like, she had a hustle. She was hustling with this. And it was just really, really awesome. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Even if you're hustling with just like showing off like with you in a thong bikini, like that's interesting. I'm like whatever. I'm like, at least you're doing your hustle and you're like, you believe in it and you're doing it. And you're just every day you're continuously posting. You're always like doing stories. You're very interactive. Like you're doing your thing. So it's cool. As long as you're like, that's cool. Anything, as long as you're being consistent. But then she like just stopped, and I'm like, and I never thought about it. And I just kind of moved on because, you follow so many different people, and like I have my group of people who like that I like will alert me about this person, and I watch their stuff and I support their things, and that was kind of what it was. And then she just recently just started posting again, and she had deleted everything off her phone on her thing. So she had like well over like 3,000 posts of like just her in thong bikinis, like a lot of that, like showing her working out. Of course, like emphasizing like she has a big butt, like her like butt routine workouts and stuff like that. Her thing. And I'm not dogging that. Like, do it. I don't care. Again, you're as a guy who's working out, or just as a dude, like I could see that and be like, yeah, I want to now work harder to get a woman to look like that. Yeah, that's what you could be doing, or there's a dude that's probably jerking off to it. But like, I think that's weird. I think it's weird to jerk off to photos to girls that you don't know. I think that's weird. That's weird to me. It's just like, it just needs to be, there needs to be a connection to the person. Maybe that's what it is. But it's just so I'm like, I can't jerk off to you, dude. I don't know you. I don't know your name. I don't know what your voice sounds like. Like, you've never posted a video of like a picture of you've never posted like a thing on Instagram of like with you talking. So how can I jerk off to just like your body? It's just weird. It's just a weird disconnect where like I feel like it's just like you're going down steps of like just being able to fuck like a part of the body. You know what I mean? And it's weird. Like the guys who can like have like those fake butt things, and it's like a fake butt and the pussy, and they can just like fuck that. I think that's incredibly odd. That's so weird because you're not fucking a person. You're fucking a thing. And you're fucking a pussy. You're not fucking a girl who happens to have a pussy. See what I did there? Everyone's included in that statement. I did good on that. You guys have to at least give me credit. Anyway, but yeah, it's weird to fuck like it's weird to fuck just a pussy, like a pussy light, like those fleshlights. That's weird. Like it's like, oh yeah, like fuck this one of this porn star. It's like, but you're just fucking a pussy. You're not fucking the porn star. You're fucking a fake pussy. And like, dude, you're borderline. That's like, you're one step away from just killing someone. There's no difference between that and like killing someone and then fucking the dead body. It's just the same fucking thing. It's just gross. But go do it if you want to do it. I don't care. Like, I really don't care. It's just, I think it's gross. It's not even that it's gross. I just think it's odd. It's like it's like paying for parking. Like, you can, if you just work hard enough, you can probably find a spot and get it for free. So just work a little harder. Just don't fuck a thing. Like, and that's the weird thing about men. Like, that's the weird thing about guys, that we're like, well, we really have this urge to come, and I'm going to find a thing to make me able to come in it. I'm going to come into something. And I think that's so weird. So odd. Just come in your hand. Just come in your hand. Like, just keep it old school. There's some things that just don't need to be touched. And the way you jerk off is one of them, because it's just fucking odd when you do it any other way. When you bring, as a dude, as a woman, it's weird. As a woman can do all that stuff. She can bring in the whole Taj Mahal, a Taj Mahal full of fucking toys, fucking like lubrications, fucking like have like rainfalls going, have like a tiger walking in the background. She can have all that stuff, and everyone's just like, that's cool. That's just her thing. That's just her thing. But a guy has a fucking fleshlight. Like, that is the weirdest fucking guy I've ever seen in my goddamn life. Don't you ever fucking talk to Tim. Don't talk to Tim. He's weird. He has this fucking fleshlight thing. It looks like a flashlight, but then he opens the top and it's a fucking pussy. And it's like some signature thing off some fucking girl. He's not even really fucking the girl. He's just fucking a thing of a pussy of a dead. He's like fucking like a dead pussy. It's like, it's weird. It's just weird. Don't talk to Tim. And that's how we all think of it. Every single one of us. It's odd. It's weird. It's a weird double standard, but it's a good double standard, and it's a double standard that needs to exist. That one needs to exist, because men need to be shamed when we do weird shit like that, because we don't. It's that's the thing. Like, that's the funniest thing that I hear about all the time when like I hear a biological woman transitions to a man. Is that they're like, dude, like, there's so much testosterone. Like, you don't understand. Like, we have a fucking demon that runs through all of us. Every single man has a demon that runs through them. And it's just like, come. And as a man, your job is to do enough jumping jacks, or do enough, like, pull-ups, or, find a beautiful lady who can help you with this demon, who she has the magical. It's like when you find a woman and you really care about her, and then she can help you with this. It's like she pulls like the sword out of the rock, and it's like, oh, it's just like this moment. You're like, oh, we are going to fix all this. And that's also too the reason why men go so fucking insane when women break up with them, is because we freak out and we lose. We're like, oh, dude, we're never gonna have pussy ever again. We're never gonna have a cum. We're never gonna come again. We're never gonna come with a woman again. We're never, and like, you just freak the fuck out. And like, that's just my own psychology of it. I have really no ethics. Ethics? Is that even the word? I have no study on it. Maybe that's the first word I could have started out with, is I have no study on it of like what I'm talking about whatsoever. But yeah, that internal demon, it's a killer. And dudes, don't fuck things. Just if you can't get a girl, jerk off, be done with it. That's it. Do anything else, it's weird. And that's like that, and that's the one thing I'm just like, whew, John, you dipped and dodged a lot of shit, and you never got hit by that weird thing. That's the weirdest thing to get hit by, is having like weird fetishes as a man, because like all that stuff gets like implanted onto us as like a young boy. It's like usually between like the ages of like, like 5 to like 13, 14. That's when things get really hard implanted. So if something crazy happens to a kid, like if he gets like, some like blonde hair, blue eye girl jerks him off when he's, like 12 years old, like he can have a thing for and he comes from it, and he has like an intense orgasm. Like he can have like this like crazy attachment to like blonde hair, blue eye girls, and like want to fuck them, because like he attaches like coming to them, and like that's just it gets implanted into their, like, it gets implanted onto our brain. And since we're so visual creatures as a male, we're so visual that the things that make us come are because of the visualness of it 99% of the time. And as again, they get implanted when we're super fucking young, and it's weird. And I'm just like, woo, dude, you got really lucky on all your stuff. You're relaxed. You're chilled. Like you're just like, yeah, boobs cool. Like big boobs cool. Small boobs are cooler. Butts, yeah, I like big butts, and that's about it. Then that's it. That's about the end of it. It's like, yeah, is she nice? Yeah, is she not gonna like? Is she nice? Does she smell good? Okay, that's cool. Well, that's about all I need. Like, like you're just a girl. You bathe, and you stand up and you wipe and shit. Like if you don't do that, that's kind of, I don't know. I really wouldn't care. That'd be so crazy. Like I meet like the love of my life, and I meet the woman that I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with, and like I walk into the bathroom, and like I see her, she's standing up and she's wiping. I'm like I think it's weird, but like I wouldn't break up with her for it. Wouldn't do that. No. I'm like, yeah, like that's a weird way to do that. I'm like, you can just sit down and do that, and I'll just shut the door and I'll walk off. And I'm like, I have a great story to tell now. That'd be hilarious. That'd be hilarious because it's always funny when girls fart in front of you for the first time. Like, But anyway, guys, I have like 15 seconds left. So like, comment, and subscribe if you've gotten this far. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, we did it. Another podcast over. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Episode 100. Holy crap! I should like have like 100. I should have like balloons above me that says like 100 or something like that on the next episode. Probably won't do that. I'll see you guys later. All right, bye.